hit back in March, banks worried about huge losses. And a funny thing happened on the way to those losses. They actually didn't happen. And that has led to a huge sigh of relief because they're on the safe side for now. First Financial Bank CEO Archie Brown talked with Courier reporter Steve Watkins about how banks have been able to stave off pandemic defaults.
Thanks, and thanks for being here, Archie.
Hey, Steve, it's great to be with you today.
So let's look at how much of a problem loan losses have been to this point for First Financial. What have you guys seen?
Steve, this year to date, loan losses have been pretty minimal. I would even say lower than last year, or losses, I guess, compared to any good economic period, losses have been as low, if not lower.
Yeah, that's fantastic and kind of surprising, I would think, at least compared to expectations 6 or 7 months ago. Why do you think they haven't been nearly as bad as people feared?
Yeah, I think there are a few factors. Going into the pandemic, we all had our worst fears about where losses might be, but I think it's a combination of, one, just the resiliency of businesses, their ability to adapt and find a way to make things work. The stimulus, just incredible amount of stimulus has come into the system and made a difference in so many, not just consumers, but also businesses, things like the PPP program. And then we've been doing a lot of, outreach to borrowers early on and providing various payment relief programs. It's the combination of all those things I think have come together to really allow businesses to navigate this so far.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So what have you guys done to protect yourselves going forward if losses do, in fact, end up rising a lot more than they have so far?
Well, again, it starts with our borrowers and just being very close to them and, understanding how to provide solutions to help them to help minimize losses. But also, we've been setting aside significant amount of dollars into loan loss reserves and building that reserve in anticipation of future credit losses. We've built additional capital, retained more capital, all just to make sure that our company is, can weather any storms that may come down the pike.
Yeah, that sounds good. And in terms of the losses that you would expect, what are you guys anticipating going forward? Do you think loan losses will, in fact, get worse as we head into next year?
Yes. Again, early on in the pandemic, Steve, we were very worried about how significant they could be. Could they be as much as what we saw in the great financial crisis of 2008, 2009? But I think as time's moved on, we feel a lot better than we did in the spring. So we would say losses are going to be elevated from where they are. Don't really know how much yet, but they'll be probably sometime in the middle part of 2021 and maybe back half of 2021, we'll start to see losses peak and maybe trail into 2022.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that. And how do you think both First Financial and the banking industry as a whole are positioned to handle the losses that might rise as we head into next year?
Yeah, the banking system, Steve, is the healthiest it's ever been. We had significant profits over the last 10 years. Capital ratios for all banks have built significantly from where they were 10 years ago. Again, we've also been able to prop our loan loss reserves higher for impending or potential losses. And banks have been doing other things to raise subordinated debt, just provide other sources of capital into the system to be ready to withstand. I would also say that the economy was stronger than ever coming into this, and businesses were performing better than ever. So everybody was very healthy. All businesses, banking industry, everybody was healthy coming into this crisis, which helps.
Yeah, I'm sure that makes a big difference. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for being here, Archie. I really appreciate it.